Bloodstock TV, we are back with Sammy from Lost Society, who just destroyed, in a great way, the main stage earlier on today under the hot sun. Dude, how are you? It's so good to have you back.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, and I feel absolutely fantastic. Honestly, this whole summer has been just surreal for us because honestly, every single show we played, we've been just staring at the audience and just enjoying the pure love that you see in people's eyes and just see people appreciating live music and loving each other. It's just something so beautiful. And you know, we've been to the UK so many times. We've done Download a couple of times. This was our first Bloodstock, so you know, we were expecting a lot, but what we got was just more than we could have hoped
Yeah,
for.
we kind of. I was up there for the start of the set, and it was just.
Hell yeah!
From nail
I mean, you know, I feel like it's definitely our privilege and it's our honor and it's our obligation as one of the first bands on the bill today to get people hyped up, because honestly, because I've been, you know, I love music and I love live music, and I've gone through festivals and festivals, you know, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And the first band of the second day, it's always like, you know what, you got to get me hyped up. So that's kind of what I
well, you
use
did that.
Well,
There's
that's
no
fucking great to
question.
hear. And honestly, I mean,
Yeah.
seeing the crowd's reaction, especially on the last song, it's like everyone jumping up and everyone smiling. I was like, you know what?
Fantastic.
This is why I'm alive.
Well, dude, it's a pleasure to have seen you open up that stage today on such a fine day as well. I want to just very quickly talk about the album. Okay, September 30th.
Hell yeah.
It's coming. If the sky came down. Give me just a brief background on just how long has this album been in the works to where it is right now? Was this a kind of a sitting at home during lockdown pandemic kind of thing that you're putting together? Or?
Well, you know what? The kind of, I'm going to use speech marks and say funny thing,
Right.
is that, you know, I mean, more or less, obviously in 2020 we put out No Absolution. After that we couldn't tour much. So, you know, I spent a lot of time at home, but essentially I would say that it was kind of the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021 where just basically my whole world came falling down on me. It had nothing to do with the pandemic, which is the funny thing, but everything else kind of went to shit, and I was like, you know what? I found myself in a place where I was like, I'm gonna write a record, and I just don't know what's happening after that, if anything. And
So it was a kind of turn lemons into lemonade. type
exactly. It
situation,
was
yeah.
like, it was in my eyes and in my head, it was the purest form of art and of music, and the power of music being that you take something that's so fucking devastating and something so ugly, and you turn it into something that will give hope to other people. And that's why I love music. That's why I'm still here. And you know, now I am here in lovely Bloodstock. We got a record coming out in a couple of months, and I'm still alive, so I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Totally agree with you. Music is one thing that just is universal. and
Exactly.
It just is a healing tool for so many different types of situations. Singles. What Have I Done, which has just been released. You've had, do you call it 112 or 100?
I'd call it 112. I've heard 112 or
112.
112.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the whole Blink 182 thing all over again.
I suppose, yeah. 112 and Stitches. I'm assuming there will be a fourth single before the album drops.
I'm gonna have to give you the classic. We'll see what happens.
Okay,
I can't tell you
alright.
anything, but we'll see.
Okay.
the record's coming out
Alright,
pretty
okay.
soon, but it could be that people will hear something still
Yeah.
before it officially comes out.
Now, we're talking there about just the stuff that you know, in writing this album, and then the personal stuff you were going through, and the album itself deals a lot with, you had said, I mean, there's, you know, addiction and whatnot, but I mean, how difficult was it to actually address those things yourself and to compress them and I'm going to use the word, you know, to just almost vomit this out into something extremely positive? And how do you feel about these tracks existing right now, knowing from where they came from to what they are now? It's kind of like a dark seed that grew and now it's a flower type of thing.
Well, honestly, the crazy thing is that I only started thinking about this issue after I had recorded the record and after
Alright.
all the songs were written, because, you know, for me, I've always been a very open person. As you can even see talking to me, I'm not
Absolutely.
shy. I'm always going to tell people how I feel. And in my eyes, you know, because music has saved me more times than I could ever even count, but this was the first time where I was like, literally, I was on the brink of something fucking terrible.
God.
and it started pouring out, and I cannot thank our producer and co-writer Jonas enough, because it was basically, he was the person who kind of held my hand when we were doing it. He was like, this is fucking okay, dude, you are in a safe place and you can talk about all of this and we'll get through this together. And get through this together, I was like, yeah, fuck off, I'm not getting through this, but I'm gonna write a great record and that's what people will remember. But after it was recorded, I was like, wow, listening back to it, it took me to a place that I literally don't even remember. It's just a big blur, all of it. But, we have the record, and I feel like it's the most honest product that I've ever recorded, and I feel great about it. And not in a sense that I'm giving people something like, oh, you know what, the world sucks and everything is fucking terrible. It's like, I want to turn my downfall into something beautiful for other people, and I serve as a living example that there is always the glimpse of hope in the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliantly answered. You've just covered everything there. I was going to ask you a few more questions, but you have nailed that essentially. So just again, you're here at Bloodstock. You have performed already. When you play these festivals, because what track was it where you released the footage? Copenhagen, was it? No,
it was the festival.
Yeah,
it was called Tuska Festival from Helsinki, Finland.
Of course, yeah. Do you notice when you play events like this, it's just a great way to connect with so many people that may have said, yeah, I do know that band, but I've never seen them live, or I've never, the name is familiar, and then they get a chance to see you under, possible circumstances where they may not. But do you notice that after performing at festivals like this, that there's a jump in interest? You can see it online, you can see people...
100%.
Yeah?
100%. I love playing club shows, don't get me wrong, but festivals, there's a vibe to it because of exactly what you said. You have people from all over the world, from different backgrounds, you have different people going to different places and everything, and I feel like there's something so kind of beautifully mysterious about it. And because we are a type of band that we do the metal festivals, obviously, but we're able to do mainstream festivals back home, at least. We've done some also around Europe, and I love those situations also because those are the events that you'll typically also get a lot of people who have never heard your music before. But metal festivals also, you have so many people who are like, I've heard the name, maybe I'll go see what it's all about, and you're gonna get so many new fans or people who hate you. Either way, I fucking love it.
At least they have an opinion.
The worst thing I've ever heard someone say about our band is it's okay. It's like you either hate it or you love it. There's nothing in between.
It's like when someone says, how do I look? You say, you look fine.
Yeah,
it's like, what is fine?
Go fuck yourself.
Right, when you released self-release, No Absolution, that, am I correct in saying that was just a fucking huge learning curve for you in terms of the business side of things, because
Yes,
you
sir.
guys are back with Nuclear Blast now, and I just wanted to, without, you don't have to go deep into it because it is the business side of the band and we don't want to be intrusive into that, but in terms of just when you stick your head under the surface of the water and you see what goes on the business side of this, and being an independent band self-releasing an album, could you briefly just kind of tell me how much of a head fuck that was?
Well, you know what? Honestly, I feel like the couple of years leading up to us doing No Absolution, and the kind of whole process of us leaving Nuclear Blast at that time, people will very easily be like, oh my god, so you must have had a huge fight or something. It's like, no, I think at that point of our careers, we just had to make that move. We had to, it was necessary to have that 4 years that we were able to write as much music as we wanted to and take as long as we needed, because obviously everyone can hear from Brain Dead to No Absolution, something happened in between, and that's the fact that we wrote like 50 or 60 songs, and we were like, these are the best songs, let's put these out. And yes, definitely a learning curve with the whole business side, and I can't say that it was just the band who was doing it. We had our management, we have our agencies, everyone was supporting us so much, and I cannot thank them enough. So the whole process, let's say it was necessary, it was difficult, but it brought us to a place where we found our way back to Nuclear Blast, and everything is going better than it ever has.
Full circle.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Sometimes you have to make the hard decisions, but it always pays off.
There you go. That could be that's a t-shirt right there.
I'm a fucking live, laugh, love sign right here, man.
Well, listen, new album's coming out on September 30th on Nuclear Blast, so please check it out. Check out the singles that are already released, and there may be another single. Wink, wink.
Who knows? Who knows?
So, listen, guys, Lost Society, go check them out. Thank you so much, Sammy.
Thank you,
Absolute
man.
fucking pleasure, dude.